Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday Brief on your Joy News channel here on Multi TV. My name is Jennifer Jane Asante and I bring you the details of the following headlines. Teachers and educational workers call off their strike. We will find out if indeed they are back in the classroom. And the Supreme Court will resume sitting on Tuesday, April 2, 2013 to resolve, consider and adopt issues to be raised by lawyers in a petition challenging the legitimacy of President John Mahama's reign. And the police in the Ashanti region make some arrests in relation to the recent perceived armed robbery attacks. So we have all of this plus briefs, wellness and some showbiz coming up after this break. Now, the Supreme Court will resume sitting on Tuesday, April 2, 2013 to resolve, consider and adopt issues to be raised by lawyers in a petition challenging the legitimacy of President John Dramani Mahama. Lawyers for the parties met on Monday, March 19, 2013, following a directive from the court which advised them to meet, deliberate and arrive at issues to be set out for trial and determination. But they couldn't reach an agreement.
Following the communication of the deadlock to the Registrar of the Supreme Court on March 19, 2013, the Registrar in another letter dated 25th March 2013 fixed April 2, 2013 as the date for the court's next hearing. Under the procedures of the court, the legal terms for the petitioners, the President, the Electoral Commission and the National Democratic Congress are expected to officially announce the areas they agreed on and those they disagreed on. The court will then consider the issues disagreed on and arrive at a solution before the hearing of the substantive case begins. Following that, a memorandum of issues will then be set out for trial. Key among the memorandum of issues to be set out for the trial are whether or not persons were allowed to vote without biometric verification and whether or not votes cast in 11,916 polling stations should be annulled by the court. On March 4, 2013, the petitioners filed issues to be set out for trial, while the President on March 13 also filed an application for direction. Both sides agreed on a request for the court to determine whether or not persons were allowed to vote without biometric verification, among others. However, the President prayed the court to decline the petitioner's prayer for the court to allow parties in the case to adopt audio-visual aids in the presentation of evidence. On the petitioner's prayer that parties in the case be made to exchange documents to be relied on 7 days before the trial, the President is pleading with the court to reject that request. President Mahama is also praying the court to decline the petitioner's suggestion that 7 days before the trial, all parties must be made to present a list of witnesses and a brief summary of the nature and relevance of each witness' testimony to enable the court to determine its probative value.
Now, the court on March 14, 2013 gave the legal teams in the case 7 days to sit and narrow down the issues for determination and to indicate the areas they did not agree on for the court to resolve. However, barely 7 days after the court's directives, lawyers for the petitioners, President Mahama, the EC and the NDC met, deliberated and hit a deadlock. Following the standoff, the legal team for the petitioners on March 19, 2013 wrote to the Registrar of the Supreme Court and indicated that they and lawyers representing President Mahama, the EC and the NDC met and agreed on relatively few issues. They officially wrote to the Registrar to indicate the outcome of the meeting and prayed the Registry to set a short date to enable the parties to appear before the court for resolution. The three had initially called for the cancellation of 1,342,845 valid votes cast during the election at 4,709 polling stations due to the alleged irregularities recorded during the elections, but are now urging the Supreme Court to pronounce an additional 3,327,659 valid votes cast as invalid. The Supreme Court on February 7, 2013 granted the petitioner's prayer of amendment and accordingly allowed the amendment. President Mahama, who is the first respondent, the EC and the NDC, the second and third respondents respectively, have filed their responses. They have all refuted the petitioner's allegations on the grounds that President Mahama won the elections legitimately in the full glare of the media, local and international election observers. The NDC applied to join the petition on December 31, 2012 and was duly granted permission by a 6-3 majority decision of the Supreme Court on January 22, 2013. On March 14, 2013, the Supreme Court unanimously dismissed applications filed by 327 people who sought to join the petition. The 9-member panel held that the presence of the 327 applicants was neither necessary nor convenient, adding that their being allowed to join would defeat the purpose of the Supreme Court's Amendment Rules 2012. CI 74. Now, still in the legal arena, an Accra fast-track court has ordered the state to pay former Auditor General Edward Dia Ajimai all entitlements due him. The state is to pay a monthly pension equivalent to his salary as Auditor General or a Justice of the Court of Appeal. Edward Dia Ajimai has been in court since May 2010 when he retired, requesting payment of his gratuity and pension. But government rejected his appeal on the basis that he was a political appointee. The court also awarded 10,000 Ghana cedis as general damages and an additional 10,000 Ghana cedis as costs against the state. Up north to speak with Mohammed Nuruddin. Residents of Mohifong in the Savlugu Nantong municipality in the northern region are worried about an unbearable stench emanating from a refuse disposal site left unattended by the municipal assembly in the area.
The residents who have to endure the repulsive stench every day say it is making breathing unbearable, especially when it rains, and they fear that could lead to outbreak of diseases in the area if nothing is done about the situation.
When it rains in the rainy season, I think a lot of children come here to play, and as a result, their health is at stake, and they have been able to contaminate disease out of the situation here. So I think that is not only one. I think when it rains, anytime the stench here is very bad. It's very bad, and actually it is giving a lot of people problems.
Assemblyman for the area Suleimana Salifu told Joy News that several appeals to the Savlugu Nantong Municipal Assembly about the situation in the area has yielded no positive results, thereby creating an environment where fetus of unwanted pregnancies are dumped on the refuse disposal site. Municipal Chief Executive of Savlugu, Prince Askia Mohammed, when contacted, told Joy News that efforts are being made to clear the garbage through communal cleanup.
Now, still up north, the police have arrested 4 suspects in connection with the recent attacks on the students and teachers of the Saboba EP Senior High School. The headmaster and some students of the school were reported to have been assaulted by some members of the community where the school is located when the headmaster tried to prevent them from entering the school compound. Some of the students fled the school compound to neighboring communities. The Yendi Divisional Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Cephas Bediakon, confirmed the arrest and said after screening, 2 of the suspects were released, while the other 2 will be arraigned before court on Wednesday. Meanwhile, a teacher of the school, on condition of anonymity, said security patrols on the school compound has been intensified. Now moving on, the Joy News Ashanti regional correspondent says the police in the region have made some arrests in relation to the recent unrest perceived as armed robbery attacks. I have my colleague Mohammed Nuruddin on the phone. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello.
Mohammed, what have the police been saying?
Oh, well, the police have just ended a press briefing, and they are saying that the recent shooting in the metropolis was an organized group of criminals, and that they were not armed robbers. They were organized to do that, and the police are saying they are carrying on their investigation to find out why the the rationale behind that, and they'll get back to the public and then tell them what exactly happened. As I'm speaking now, the police have arrested 5 additional suspects in connection with the shooting, and the first 3 suspects were arrested in Accra through a combined effort of the police in Kumasi and then the Accra Regional Police Command, while the last 2 were arrested in Kumasi. According to the police, all the 5 suspects have confessed in their caution statement having committed various robberies in the Kumasi metropolis, and are currently in police custody, assisting in investigation, and will be arraigned before very soon. The police have received 1 gun and 3 cartridges in their possession. They have also impounded 105 unregistered motorcycles, and then 138 bags of weed. So currently, these suspects are in police custody, and like I said earlier, they will be arraigned before court very soon. And if you remember, on Friday, the police also made an arrest of a suspect, one Akoti Aje Abraham, 23-year-old, who murdered who was suspected to have murdered the young boy, the 13-year-old boy at Ebuafa. And according to the police, the guy has confessed that he did it, and that the mother of the child, a boy, owed him 250. That was why he murdered a young boy.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, Mohammed. So it looks like the police have things in hand in the Ashanti region. Hello?
Hello? Yeah.
Mohammed, it looks like the police have things well in hand in the Ashanti region. Okay, seems we have a bad connection there, but that was my colleague in the Ashanti region, Mohammed Nuruddin, giving us an update on the arrests that have happened there. The police say it is an organized group of criminals who have been raising terror in the Ashanti region, but they have made some arrests and confiscated certain items. They've also managed to effect the arrest of the murderer of the 13-year-old boy. Now let's move on to some other news. Fire has razed down the administration block of the MIM Senior High School.
This marks the first time the 43-year-old MIM Senior High School is experiencing such a disaster. According to school authorities, the security man of the school spotted the fire and called the fire service after trying to reach the headmaster, Patrick Kwabneji. Before the fire service personnel got to the scene, the fire had already engulfed the administration block, burning all kinds of documents, computers and accessories, as well as office stationery. Firefighters were, however, able to save the staff common room from total destruction, but its roof was not spared. The distressed headmaster of the MIM Senior High School, Patrick Kwabneji, narrated the incidents to Joy News.
When we came, the fire had even got out of hand. Tried as the fire service personnel who came to our rescue did. the damage had already been done. So these are the remains of what we have in the school.
Patrick Kwabneje further appealed to all stakeholders to rescue the school. The senior housemaster of the school, Samuel Kojotechi, told Joy News the teachers' strike action and the fire disaster has destabilized the entire school, calling for prompt assistance.
Nothing seems to go on. You know, this has affected us, and the masters are also on strike. So in fact, we are asking God's blessing for the school. Only God can salvage us from this problem.
Nesta Kafui Ajoma's report for Joy News.
Sad thing to happen in a school, and things are, well, maybe a little better in this next school. You see, the writing of the BECE is an anxious and exciting time in the life of a child. It marks the end of basic education, and it gives many the opportunity to travel elsewhere to continue formal education. It's also a time of testing one's mettle and justifying one's inclusion. You can call that both heaven and hell. Things are no different in Japon, a town in the Volta region. But apart from the usual exam anxiety, pupils of the Volta Junior High School have other problems to contend with. Educational infrastructure in the Japon area is structured like a pyramid. There is only one senior high school in the area, which is fed by 14 junior high schools. These junior high schools are also fed by a myriad of primary schools. The Volta Junior High School is one of such schools. It is an examination center meant to cater for as many as 2,000 candidates for the BEC examination this year, but can't take that many. The school is prepared for 400 candidates to write in classrooms, and another 150 will sit under trees to write in an area prone to gusty winds. The floors are nearly reduced to rubble and have large craters running from wall to wall. The structure itself is unstable with cracks in the walls. The classes are cramped and stuffy.
There's too much heat in the class, and sometimes we use our books to fan ourselves. So when the teacher is teaching, we can't get what the teacher is saying, as you can see. So some of our seniors are sitting under the trees to learn because there's not enough blocks in the school for us. So we want the government to come to our end to give us school blocks.
Attempts have been made at expanding and improving the school, but haven't got very far. The school library has been stuck at foundation level for the past 15 years. The pupils have to make do with this tiny facility for both library and ICT purposes.
This room is an improvised ICT center and a library for about 600 pupils of the school. As you can see, the place is very, very small. Even if you group them, working here is very difficult. So we need a well-built ICT center and a library for the children to learn.
Help seems to be coming in small doses to this school that seems forgotten. The headmistress, Veronica Mensah, acknowledges the MP's assistance and begs for more.
This school is an exam center where about 2,000 candidates around Japon comes to write their BEC. But the school is not well resourced. We need desks, we need furniture, we need accommodation. At times, when it is time for exams, you see candidates sitting under the veranda, under trees to write, and it is a pathetic issue. We are appealing to our MP, we are appealing to the government to come to the aid of our school.
Only time will tell how quickly another's help will come their way. Now, news just in indicates that the nationwide strike by teachers and educational workers has been called off. So my colleague Etonam Say is in town checking up for an update of the situation. Hello, Etonam.
Jennifer.
Have the teachers called off the strike? Are they in class?
Yeah, as we speak, the teachers have suspended the strike action. What the reasons are that, based on the assurances given by His Excellency the President, that they're working on some of their concerns raised. And then also they said that most of their concerns, that is their vehicle maintenance allowance and annual incremental credit arrears, will be paid immediately. They also said that issues relating to teachers' promotion have also been resolved. Basically, there are indications that most of the concerns they've raised are going to be resolved immediately. And so, starting from tomorrow, we expect that teachers will be back in classroom teaching. Jennifer.
All right, Etonam, who addressed the press conference?
It was addressed by the national president, Samuel Joe Alobia, national president of Ghana National Association of Teachers. And then we had members from the concerned teachers, Coalition of Concerned Teachers, TCT, and then we also had the national president of NAGRAT, Christina Daipoku. I mean, all the stakeholders were part of this meeting. Actually, they said that the issue with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has been resolved. And so we're hoping that very soon they would call it off. At the stand, they've only suspended the strike action because they're hoping that their concerns will be fully addressed. If it's not addressed, it's likely they will go back. So at the stand, it's only been suspended pending, negotiations.
All right. Now, Etonam, when they made the announcement, were the teachers present all in agreement, or you noticed some dissension amongst the ranks?
No, they were all in agreement. We had some teachers present. Like I said earlier, all stakeholders were present. We had some teachers there. We had I just didn't see Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, perhaps because we already spoke to them privately. Because when we came earlier, they had some series of meetings with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and other stakeholders. And so this one was just to tell us the outcome of the meetings they had with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and other stakeholders. So at the meeting, we had members of Ghana Association of Teachers, and then we also had a coalition of concerned teachers, and then we had some teachers to present, Jennifer.
All right. Etonam, have you had the chance to stop by any schools, or should we speak to you in another news briefing?
Well, I went past a few schools before the press conference because we were still having the indoor meeting. We were waiting for the press conference. They hadn't started, so I went past a few schools, O'Reilly and some surrounding schools around, and teaching wasn't going on. Teachers were not in class because I suspect that because they hadn't come to a conclusion yet. But as it stands, I'm told they're supposed to resume tomorrow. So I don't think there will be any teaching today. Teachers will resume tomorrow.
All right, Etonam, thank you very much for that update, and we hope the teachers will be in school tomorrow. Now let's go over to the Volta region and speak to Jerry Komla Ado about some developments in that region. Hello, Komla.
Hi, JJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, you've told us that the Volta Democrats for Development this morning have held a press conference. What is that about?
Yeah, according to them, they are saying that some people are trying to make the country ungovernable for President Mahama. So they are sending a strong signal to the opposition NPP, particularly Sir John. According to them, they say Sir John has been making irresponsible statements lately. So they want to make it clear to him that they are also setting up a machinery to rebut all that he has been doing. They are also alleging that the president of the group, that's Stephen Adam, is alleging that a cousin of Nana Akufo-Addo is planning to bring thousands of supporters onto the streets to demonstrate against NDC and, of course, the presidency. So they are also ready to counter whatever they are doing. According to them, again, they are saying that, well, since they want to make the country and peaceful, they also, embarking on the same issues to also counter whatever they are doing.
All right. Now, this is an NDC group making these allegations. Have you spoken to the opposition?
Yeah, some of the NPP, folks in town have been talking to them and say that, well, as for them, whatever is happening in Accra is different from whatever is happening here. So if a group from the NDC decides to do something, it's none of their business. So they are minding their own business here. But aside from that, there's a meeting. By the Regional Security Council. It's a closed-door meeting actually here at the DRCC. So we are keeping a close eye on them to see what comes out. The meeting is concerning the clashes between the Alafanyo and the Konya people. So whatever comes out of the meeting, closely monitoring. I'll give you updates on that.
All right, thank you very much. Jerry Komla Ado reporting live from the Volta region, where things are getting a little unsettling, but we will bring you updates in our subsequent news briefings. It's time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more. Welcome back. Government is planning to offload some shares of Ghibidi distilleries on the Ghana Stock Exchange so private investors own a stake. Trade Minister Haruna Idrisu, during a familiarization tour, said the move is to expand the company's production capacity and to create employment.
The company produces some of the most popular liquor brands, including Takai, Mandingo, Castle Bridge, and Heb Afrique gin bitters. The minister, together with some officials from the ministry, was taking round the state-owned distillery so he could acquaint himself with their operations and also inspect ongoing expansion projects. He emphasized government's plan to strengthen private-public partnership.
Subject to cabinet approval, government will be looking for a private partner, whether as a minority or majority shareholder with management, in order to improve the efficiency of Ghibidi distilleries generally. The thrust of the president's policy is to build a strong public-private partnership. Ghibidi will be subjected to listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange in order that Ghanaians can own it, contribute to its management, and demand efficiency in the performance of its obligations.
Ghibidi Distilleries increased its net profit for the year after taxation from about 1.2 million cedis in 2010 to over 2.2 million cedis in 2011. Managing Director K. Kwao Simmons was hopeful production will quadruple after the completion of ongoing projects and once government's recapitalization plans are effected.
It is profitable. The potential is there. We would more or less triple our blending and quadruple our bottling capacity. And that is huge. We have quadrupled our electrical capacity. We are putting in over 1 million cubic water tank with processing facility.
Meanwhile, an ongoing expansion and modernization project is to be completed by the second quarter of 2014, beginning with a new blending and tank farm due for completion in September this year.
Well, seeing as people are looking to make some money, how about we look at gold? Africa's second largest gold producer, Ghana, announced a 17% increase in gold production last year. According to Ghana Minerals Commission, increase in output was mainly due to rising prices that encouraged higher output by companies. Gold prices averaged $1,668 an ounce in 2012 from $1,572 an ounce a year earlier. Production climbed longer-term maintenance and expansion projects rather than maximizing existing production. That was a rather long piece. I need a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you some wellness. So it's time for a little wellness in your life. And today we're talking about a topic that you wouldn't suspect could cause you health problems. Beauty products. Beauty products such as mascara, eyeshadow, and foundation reportedly have been found to contain chemicals which can be linked to conditions such as cancer, infertility, and hormone imbalance. The ingredients used to make consumer products, including cosmetics, have come under increased scrutiny for their possible effects on human health and on the environment. Today, Wellness takes a look at the health risks of becoming beautiful. Mainstream society, many people will expect you to wear makeup. and failing to apply it as others do can have some negative consequences. But not all women are equal. Some women have extremely resilient skin. They could slather on a foundation of 80% motor oil every morning and not get a single pimple. Other women at the opposite end of the spectrum are not so lucky. They have problem skin that is prone to blackheads and acne and other infections, and wearing makeup can make their skin. You know, my director says face on when things are about to get going. Now I have another image running through my head after watching today's wellness. But we'll move on to something else. With some international news. The rebel leader Michel Djotodia has announced he is suspending the constitution of the Central African Republic and dissolving parliament. And the Arab League has kicked off a two-day summit in Doha where opponents of President Bashar al-Assad will represent Syria for the first time. We have some fairly sad news for you in showbiz today. Jackson 5 producer DK Richards has died at the age of 68. And what do you think your shoes say about you? Find out in our showbiz brief.
The old adage says that what you wear makes a statement about your personality, and so many times the advice has been dress once and for all. But it is also true that glory not found on the face can be seen on one's feet. It is in this saying that a young Ghanaian entrepreneur, Tony Senanya, has found the inspiration to go into shoemaking under the brand name Husband Shoes. According to Tony, Husband Shoes is known for its modern and futuristic designs, and it aims at providing patrons quality and affordable shoes that are durable.
When you hear the animal horse, what features of it come to mind? They are strong, they have strength, they run fast, they have stamina. That is what my brand represents. Okay, so I want the young people who are determined to reach a goal in life to be determined, to have stamina to complete the race.
He recently launched this year. The old adage says that what you wear makes a statement about your personality, and so many times the advice has been dress once and for all. But it is also true that glory not found on the face can be seen on one's feet. It is in this saying that a young Ghanaian entrepreneur, Tony Senanya, has found the inspiration to go into shoemaking under the brand name Husband Shoes. According to Tony, Husband Shoes is known for its modern and futuristic designs, and it aims at providing patrons quality and affordable shoes that are durable.
When you hear the animal horse, what features of it come to mind? They are strong, they have strength, they run fast, they have stamina. That is what my brand represents. Okay, so I want the young people who are determined to reach a goal in life to be determined, to have stamina to complete the race.
He recently launched this year's collection of shoes and also unveiled its brand icon at the African Regent Hotel in Accra.
You know how I feel about my Ghana-made stuff. I'm really, really passionate about the fact that it's proudly African and it's beautiful, it's exquisite. I've been wearing this very once for like 5 months. I wear it every day, but it's still strong.
This year's collection features quality leather footwear designed for anybody who likes to wear shoes and other quality footwear.
Now, by popular request, Joy News on Multi TV will be broadcasting live the second public policy lectures by Dr. Charles Reku-Brobe today at 1 p.m. That's immediately after the news. Why don't you join Dr. Reku-Brobe as he shares his experiences and his take on energy, petroleum, governance, media freedom, and accountability. Before we go, though, let's take a quick look at our headlines. Teachers and educational workers have suspended their strike. They are to report back to the classrooms tomorrow. And the Supreme Court will resume sitting on Tuesday, April 2, 2013, to resolve, consider, and adopt issues by lawyers raised in the petition challenging the legitimacy of President John Dramani Mahama. And the police in the Ashanti region have made some arrests of persons who were related to what they call the attacks by an organized group of criminals. That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. My name is Jennifer Jane Asante. Coming up at 2 is a news briefing, but as I said, at 1, Dr. Charles Rekubobe. Have a good afternoon.